Hello everyone, it's week 2 of this cross. Oh no. Hello everyone, this is the week 2 of the side-by-side mini groups. I hope you enjoyed the first week, and I'm just going to give you a bit of an overview of chapters 3 and 4 and also some further questions that I recommend that you use just to help aid your conversations. So chapter 3 talks about how our busy hearts meet hard circumstances. So as we meet hard things in our life, our hearts engage with those hard things. So there is a back and forth conversation in our hearts, and those conversations are either wise or they are foolish. So an example could be, you've had an argument with someone, you've had an argument with your mate, you've had an argument with someone in your family, and there's all stuff bubbling up in your heart. You know, there's anger, and it's like, how dare they say that to me? And don't they remember what I've done for them? And there's, thoughts of, I'll teach them, next time I say, and this is what I'm going to say to them. And if they say that to me, then I will say that to them. And you play out all these sort of scenarios in your heart. So there's this conversation goes on, and often those conversations, there's a bit of a free fall, and it's sort of, there's chaos in your heart. And the problem is, when we experience some hardships, some pain, we tend to go inward. We tend to deal with it by ourselves. But what we want to do is, as we see in the example of the Psalms, that we want to cry honestly to God for help. One of the questions that I'd like you to think about, in the book it talks about, during your suffering, what kind of psalm are you writing? And it's another way of sort of phrasing that question. Think about it as, what kind of internal conversation do you have with yourself when you're stressed, when you're anxious, when you're fearful, when you're angry, when you're depressed, hurt? Give specific examples from your life. Be specific as possible from this week or recently. When have these conversations went well? When have they been wise? And when have they went badly? And also, if you could write your own Psalm 22, to give us an example of it breaks Psalm 22 down, and Jesus' prayer when he's experienced the most anguish in his life. And write your own Psalm 22 for the hard things you've faced this week or recently, and then read that out when you meet together, and you can give each other feedback on that. Also, just chapter 4, it deals with sin and how sin weighs a lot. And, even though we face hard things in life, the sort of most important thing, the most dangerous thing, the most harmful thing is sin. And sin itself is bad, but actually it's good to see our own sin. That's a work of the Spirit, and it's good to talk about our sin and confess our sin. And because Jesus offers us deliverance, Jesus offers us forgiveness for our sin. I don't know, think about, people who've got addiction issues and they've relapsed, and they're feeling a lot of guilt and shame about that, and the fact that they can confess that sin to someone else, it sort of takes away that burden that the sin it has on them, and how we can go to Jesus with our sin, and we don't have to take that burden of sin upon ourselves. And there is lots of good questions there in the book. As it says, practice saying, I'm a sinner saved by grace. And just think about also, what difference would that make to your relationships, particularly if when you have conflict with other people. What difference would that make to your self-counsel as you deal with the hard things in your life? What do you say to yourself? How do you help yourself? as those back and forth conversation. How would that help you to have more joy in your life? And then also just answer those rest of the questions that are in the book. Thanks again for listening, and I hope you have a good time together this week. Bye bye.